for me, I can't like whatever decision I come to, it's definitely not going to be because of Kamala Harris. In a sense of she had no thought. Yo, Jam Jones, Dame to come and live to your room. What to do late night. Kamala out here turning reproductive rights into a TED talk with no PowerPoint. What our girl Kamala over here talking about? She's talking about in order for you to be successful. What does that look like? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what does success and the things that you need to be successful looks like from Kamala. When she went to
her messaging was very specific. Abortion, abortion, abortion. You need abortion. If you don't get an abortion, you won't be successful. And then her being a woman who had never birthed a child, she's the perfect model to go around and say, no kids equals success. One of the issues that a lot of women battle with when they're making that decision as to whether or not they're going to go through with becoming a mother is people unfortunately think that kids equal a burden, kids equal a hindrance. Baby, I'm living breathing proof that a baby don't stop nothing. If anything, the baby opened way more doors for me than I can imagine because people don't tell her no. All right, you might think you want to tell me no, but you ain't gonna tell my baby no. My baby at 4 years old had the president of the United States and the vice president grabbing her Cheetos from backstage because she was pissed that they shut down the concessions. So she goes back there, we're back there to take our picture. She just, and then JD, cousin Jadarius is like, yo, what's wrong? And then she goes, I want my Cheetos. And then Trump goes, Cheetos? And then JD goes, I think we can do that. And then he runs backstage behind some curtains. You hear some shuffling. Comes back out, he got Cheetos for the baby. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, if they wouldn't have did that for me, I wouldn't have never thought to ask them for Cheetos. So it's just like, I just feel for the women who feel like they can't do it. Yeah. Because there's so many avenues in which you can do it.
Drop some drip in the comments. Y'all agree with that, disagree? Now, here's the thing before we get into this. These are two totally different women from two totally different spaces. You got Kamala that's over in that camp. If you don't know who this black lady is, I can't remember what her name is, but she was very, very much advocating for the Republican Party, and she was very much advocating for President Trump. So it's interesting because they're both advocating complete opposite in opposite worlds, like completely opposite worlds. So keep that in mind as you watch that video. All right, I'll be quiet. Go ahead, Dave.
Right. No, I was gonna say, Michaela, she has an interesting background in politics as well. She started quite a few groups that's geared towards conservatism. She's one of them ones you don't want that smoke with. They almost was calling her the what was they calling her? They had a little nickname for her in
who is they? Like the Democrats or like other conservatives?
A lot of different people. They were saying that she was like the cooler version of I can't think of her name. But bottom line is that she's not one. She's very fact based. Her opinions. She'll give you her opinion and tell you exactly why she has it. And boy, oh boy, was she cooking Kamala whenever she got a chance to do so. But yeah, I mean it's real. I mean everybody saw it. I mean you at the DNC, you got an abortion bus outside, so you already knew what the agenda was. They like get rid of your babies. You want to win, kill the kids, and that's just what it looked like. But definitely two different backgrounds, definitely two different value systems there. Keep in mind, Kamala got stepkids, so she probably not even and her husband already touching paper, so no need to have any more kids, I guess. But
I mean, they got married. She had to be like on the older side, anyways. And respectfully, okay. Like we gonna call a spade a spade. It is advanced maternal health after 35, and we not gonna act like that's not the medical term for that. Don't play. We're not gonna play these games. But she was probably far beyond 35, I would imagine, by the time she even married him.
And she was chasing. She been chasing for a while. And when I mean by chasing, means she been running up and down ladders. She gonna get to where she need to get to, however she need to get there. You know what I mean? So we've heard the rumors. We've seen who she's been linked to. there's definitely been an agenda in her book that she's trying to get somewhere. I don't even know if she even thought about politics when she first started out on her run. It was all about, the law, being a prosecutor, all that stuff. So it's
I
kind
want
of
to see.
interesting where we are. DEI is definitely a very, very powerful tool for people like her, because
I
we live
definitely
in
want
it.
to
We
see
exist in the context. We exist in the context, Jim.
where did she
You
get married? But I would imagine it would have, because his kids, I want to say his kids are grown now, right? Like he
Yeah,
got grown kids.
as far as I
But
know, yeah.
so here's my thing about it.
She was 49. She
When
married
she got
Doug.
married to him?
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay.
Just before her
So
50th birthday in
okay.
2014.
Okay. So here's my thing why this is relevant, right?
She
So
August 22nd, 2014, in Santa Barbara, California. She was 49 years old when she married Doug Emhoff. The
so
end.
I
It's
just
my
want to
mama's
put that
birthday.
in context. Like technology has come a really long way, right? You got people able to be surrogates. I'm looking at what Joe wrote. I'm like, you got people who are surrogates. You also have people who, freeze their eggs. Like, so it's not impossible with technology. Like, you totally can. But you really don't hear about women like almost 50 really having a baby unless they already like had a baby. Like they usually don't have their first baby at like 50. So I say that to bring up, you can do what you want to do. It's your body. It's your body, your decision, right? However, for me, I can't like whatever decision I come to, it's definitely not going to be because of Kamala Harris. In a sense of she had no thoughts about having no kind of family at all if she got married at 49. Like that was never on her radar. So for her to tell somebody like you can't have a career if you have a family, whatever, sis never probably even thought about having a family for real anyway. So as far as Michaela's concerned, I think that it is possible to have a career, have a good, things work out for you. Even me and a mom,
And she had her baby young too. Michaela
but
did.
also we're not gonna ignore all the single moms who out there really struggling just to make it for their kids. We're not gonna act like it's just rainbows and butterflies. You're like, oh yeah, baby, you'll be just fine. That's not true. Even if you're married, even if you with the dad or you got a great village, it's not necessarily gonna be rainbows and sunshine either. So I'm just saying this is the type of social media that we are flooding to our young people and what they're consuming. And like, I just want to bring up both sides. Like, look at who's talking to you and from what lens, and what do they gain by telling you this message. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Right. And honestly, I mean, if we all really, because a lot of us have grown up with single parents, we already have seen the struggles. We get it. So it always makes sense to marry before you carry anyways, because that team is what's going to actually make a better situation for the child. But I'm not listening to some politician, that was running around with, Montel Williams
I
at
knew
one
you was
point.
gonna say that.
I gotta go there because it's like you gotta look at the choices we made from yesteryear to now. You know what I mean? And then you also gotta pay attention when people kind of do things for optics too. And that's a whole other conversation. Yeah, maybe yeah, it was after, but I mean, yeah, because my tail wasn't dealing with no 48-year-old, 49. And not at that point. Both his girlfriends were young at that point.
Every time somebody say Montel, I always think of Montel Jordan. So I'm sorry, I be like thinking about the song. That's not even what we talking about.
Right.
About the
When he talking
gospel.
about Montel Jordan, but she was showing them early on This Is How She Do It.
Let's get it on.
I'm moving around like this.
You
But at the
look
same
good
time,
tonight.
she went from
Classic.
she went from arm candy to courtroom.
Tonight.
Allegedly?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What?
Allegedly?
That she was in the courtroom?
No, the eye candy situation.
Arm candy. No, they
Arm
dated. I
candy,
mean, it is.
Oh
what
no,
it
it's all
is.
kind of. It's pictures out there for that. It's
But hundreds.
Yeah.
They've been at a lot of events together, just like
Yeah.
her and the
She was prosecutor. Yeah.
yeah, when she was a prosecutor, she was dealing with the guy that was helping her up the ladder. It's always, I hate to say it, but in her story, it's always been a man somewhere. And it wasn't no plans for kids. I think she definitely was just a career woman. Not mad at that at all, but I'm not about to sit there and take advice from this person about what to do with my children. And oh, it's your choice. Like, shut up. It always been your choice. What do you mean?
What I say is that she's just talking about it from her lens, from her view. That is what success means. Success
Same
means
with Michaela.
being, yeah, and it'll be the other side of the spectrum for her. So success to her means, you know, I like keep everything out my way. I'm going to be uber focused on what I got to do, and let me play auntie, I guess, and put my greens in the bathtub. And then on the other side, we got someone that says, hey, you can still do what you have to do. It, yes, it'll be harder in a struggle, but you know, who hasn't had that type of struggle, right? A lot of us have, especially in the older generations. Your parents is probably between 18 and maybe 25 years older than you max. They're not going to be 48 years old. Older,
right, it's not
50,
gonna happen.
50 years
not
old,
gonna happen.
throwing me out, and then here I go. Like, hey, ma, you know, like I'm not on that. Like,
get your money, get that abortion, and no longer be burdened by what has been.
Yo, Jim Jones and Dame 2, come and live to your room. What to do? Late night vibes, our squad rise, our daily trip. It's our thing.